Hi guys, are the Tories about to tear themselves apart? So the I newspaper ran this article, which I'll leave a link to in the description, but the headline says, Cabinet reshuffle will only help election hopes if Hunt or Braverman are sacked, Rishi Sunak warned. The moderate Conservatives, if there's any left, believe Braverman and the far right of the party are driving the Tories to an electoral disaster as they vacate the centre ground to Labour, while the far right of the party want Chancellor Jeremy Hunt to go, believing that he's against tax cuts, which they believe would help them win another term. The Braverman bunch also believe immigration is the issue that will help them survive politically. Another Hunt, Tom this time, appeared on Sky News to sell the idea that immigration and asylum is the most important issue on people's minds. Have a listen.
You said it was not xenophobic to not want to feel like you're living in a foreign country. And I just wondered, what do you mean like that? What do you mean feeling like you're living in a foreign country?
Well, I think it's I think if you walk into your town centre, and I think if you're hearing almost people speaking English is almost a rarity. You're hearing.
That's not what people find, is it? Come on.
Well, I think lots of people do find that.
88% of people in Ipswich have English as their main language.
Lots of people, when they walk into their town centres and city centres across the country, often feel that way. And I do think there's examples where we've had a lack of integration. I think when you don't get integration, I think this can become a problem. When you get integration, diversity is a force for good. It's brilliant. It adds vibrancy to communities. When you don't get integration, when people don't make the effort to integrate, that's when you get the problems. And if you have people in your town centre, your city centre, who aren't making the effort to integrate, who are behaving in a way that isn't in keeping with what people would expect in that area.
What would that be then, to behave in a way that wasn't in keeping with what
so, for example,
so not speaking English?
But that's one element to it. Another element to it, for example, is we've got, in the town that I represent, we've got shop theft on the rise. And there is one community that is disproportionately behind the shop theft. And I've been to 12, only a few months ago, I went to 12 different shops in the town centre with the police superintendent. They all said exactly the same thing. And these are people whose politics were all over the spectrum.
Do you have the data to back that up, or is that just what you've been told in shops?
Well, I mean, no, it's something which is, nobody disputes that locally. Nobody disputes that locally.
But has there been...
But that's not data. She asked you for data, and you said nobody disputes that locally. Okay, so there's a few points that I want to raise here. First of all, he talked about feelings. Well, people feel that there's too much immigration. People feel that they don't, that they're not British anymore if they walk, or that the town that they live in is no longer British, or something like that. And he also talked about immigration being the problem, that when people go into their town centres and they find fewer people speaking English, well, the town has been taken over by immigrants. But then he talked about crime, and he talked about a community. Now, he didn't specify which community, so he's talking first about immigrants, and then he's talking about a community. Well, those two things are not the same. But the more worrying part is, this is sounding more and more like 2015, a year before the Brexit referendum, when the anti-immigration rhetoric was really ramped up. This was the sort of language you were hearing from Nigel Farage and UKIP, not from the Conservative Party. Some Conservatives, but it wasn't so mainstream. Now it's front and centre. Too much immigration, be it quote-unquote illegal, be it legal. We want to stop it all. We want to go down the UKIP route. UKIP has taken over the Conservative Party. And at the next general election, the public are going to punish the Conservatives for the cost of living crisis, because this is the real issue, not immigration. They're going to punish them over the crumbling NHS, literally crumbling schools, infrastructure, public services, the jobs, things like this. These are the issues that are of the main concern of the electorate, not immigration. But it's going to tear the Conservatives apart, because the further they move to the right, the more they vacate the centre, and they leave that open for the Labour Party to swoop in and pick up votes there. But if they move back to the centre, they're going to upset the headbangers in the party. And remember, back a year ago when Rishi Sunak was running against Liz Truss, the MPs were more in favour of Rishi Sunak, but the party members wanted Liz Truss. The headbangers won won that battle. Eventually, Liz Truss crashed and burned herself and left the gate open there for Rishi Sunak to come in. But the first choice of the members was the headbanger, which tells us a lot about the Conservative Party at the moment. Can the moderates return? Can the moderates take back control of the party? I don't think so at this stage. I think at the next general election, what's going to happen is the Conservatives are going to be trashed and they're going to move further to the right. They're going to appoint somebody like Suella Braverman or Kemi Badenoch in charge. And they're going to remain in opposition for the foreseeable future. Let me know in the comment section, guys, what you think. As always, your comments are greatly appreciated. Thanks a lot.